Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is another episode of the All Things Podcast. I'm your host, Bryson.
This is Gabe.
And we're happy to bring y'all another episode. This is going to be a lot shorter of a video and just a lot less of a production as a whole because the mics don't work with the iPhone. And Bobby, as we stated in last week's episode, is on his trip with his family. So he has some of the happiness gear and all the equipment so we can get some quality content up there. So for this episode, we're going to be focusing on trading and a lot just going into detail about that. We'll give it to Gabe.
Thank you, Brian. Bobby, we miss you. We will see you soon.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, y'all. Today we're talking about trading. For me, that's my specialty. Trading has become like a buzzword nowadays. You see it all over the place. People, you see videos on YouTube or you see ads or people post on Instagram. And I feel like it's super important that, especially if you're starting out and you're just trying to learn the right things, it's good to learn from somebody who's already gone through all the other junk and found like what you actually need to know. So I was just going to talk about some general principles that are the foundation of your entire success as a trader. So one of the most important things is risk management. And Bry he's not a trader, but with his betting, same thing. You have to define what your risk is and you got to stick to it. So whatever money you have set aside for betting or trading or whatever it is that you're doing, and it shouldn't be all of your money, okay? It should be a portion, 10, 20% maybe, if you can do that. But once you have that chunk of money set aside, you need to figure out how much money you're willing to lose without letting it make you like feel negative energy, like angry or sad or something like that. Because once you start to feel those negative emotions, it makes you lash out and you make a lot of mistakes, and that's not good. So another thing about risk is you need to think in terms of winning in the long run instead of just focusing on getting a big win, here and there. Because the reality is, no matter what anybody says, it all comes down to probability and statistics. And for risk, it's you have to have like a certain criteria that you make decisions in. So if it's if you feel like, if your analysis tells you that you should be trying to make like $100, well, go with that. Don't try to make 300 or 500 or something that's not within your observations. That's over risking and stuff. I don't know, you should talk a little bit about that.
No, I feel like you completely hit it right on the head with just risk as a whole, right? It's being able to identify what can you actually put on the table, right? Because a lot of, I guess, decisions are altered because of that payout, right? You see that payout, you see what you could get, and you start thinking irrationally, right? When it's about kind of really taking that into perspective and understanding that, or taking a step back before you make that trade and understanding like, dang, am I thinking irrationally right here? And if so, lowering the amount you are risking then, right? It's just that simple, right? Because I've been through it numerous of times. Gabe's been through it numerous of times where we've made the wrong call and it really hurt us on our end, and we're beating ourselves up for it too, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's just about understanding that you got to take it all into account that everyone wants money at the end of the day. This world revolves around money and how if you don't have it, you can't do anything, right? So of course you're going to start thinking irrationally for it. It's kind of only natural and kind of in like human nature in a weird way. So it's kind of, and that's why it really, even though I don't necessarily trade too much right now, it does apply in the betting because it is you're taking a risk, right? You see an opportunity, and you're doing, I guess, the back end research, but it's also, if you over risk right there, then it's all for nothing, right? Because then you're pushing it out of your favor now, pushing it out of your control.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know the risk part, if you have everything else done correctly, you have the knowledge, you've already practiced, you have a routine down, but you don't know how to manage your risk, it doesn't matter that you know everything else, because you might win a whole bunch, but then you get those little string of losses and you lose all of it. I spent years doing that, so trust me, it's a very vicious cycle, and the sooner you learn risk management, the better. After that, probably the second most important thing would be patience. So, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of obvious, but, you have to be patient. You have to wait for the opportunities to come to you. It's like that saying, like, whatever, like anything that you chase after runs away from you. It's very true. The harder you chase profit and like making money, and it sounds the opposite, but it's just the way your mind works. Like, if you focus on making like a certain amount of money every single day for trading, that's bad, because you're going to end up over risking. You're going to end up creating ideas in your head of trades that don't even exist, that aren't even following your rules. And that all that stuff lowers your edge in the market. The edge is everything. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But waiting for the opportunity it makes things way less stressful. It's more peaceful. And I know when I first became profitable, it was after I learned how to really be patient. I was naturally a very patient person, but trading is totally different. I stopped forcing a lot of the trades, and I just started to just be an observer. And for trading, it's all about being an observer rather than a participant. You only participate when you see the opportunity, it's clear as day, everything lines up the way it should, and then you take the trade. And if you have your edge, you see your edge. And that kind of comes up to the last part, which is arguably the most important, because if you don't have an edge, you don't have anything. And whether it's trading or it's betting or even a business, you start a business in a certain niche because you see an edge in that niche that you can feel and take advantage of, right? Same thing applies to trading and betting. You only make a bet, you only take a risk when you have an edge, or else you're just gambling. Gamblers always lose. Number one rule, right? So part of finding your edge is doing all the research, and that takes lots of time, lots of effort, and dedication. But if you really want to be successful, you gotta be willing to accept that, straight up. If you don't want to go through it all the way, then it's not for you. And that's totally fine. Everybody has their likes and dislikes. But you gotta be willing to put in the time, put in the hours. For me personally, for trading, I've put in thousands of hours. Like, it's literally it's like all I do, right? But it's just because I want to figure it out, right? So for me, when I first became profitable, it was the thing that helped me the most was just watching price action. So at the time, I was trading Bitcoin, and I did gold as well. But what I would do is on my days off, or whenever I had some free time and I wasn't working, I would just be at home in my apartment, and I would be watching price all day long. I'd be playing Call of Duty Mobile when there wasn't really anything happening, right? But by doing that, I began to develop a feel for the market. I understood the movements it had, the waves. It's a living, breathing thing. It's like a human being, because the market is a reflection of human beings and their feelings about value of different assets, commodities, whatever it may be, right? Another part of the research is tracking all the data. So all the results, before and after, your thought process, super important. How are you feeling? What were you thinking? What did you think you saw? And then what actually happened? And why do you think that happened? There's a reason for everything. Every win, every loss, every break even, there's a reason behind it. And you have to all you have to determine is, was it you or was it the market? If it was the market, you can't control that. It is what it is. You followed all your rules, but it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong. You did everything right. Don't feel anything about it. But if it was you, you made a mistake. You did. There's one decision that you made that you could have taken the opposite direction and been fine. You know, you have to figure out what that was, fix it, make good habits.
No, yeah, that's perfect. It's with doing all the research and putting all that time into it, you're gonna develop your edge and see the way you connect in the puzzle to make it all work, right? And it's about pushing yourself forward, getting up every day and understanding that yes, it's not working yet, but if you keep on applying yourself and keep on doing that research, keep on searching the web, right? Seeing what more you can find out about whatever endeavor you're in, your edge will appear to you and you can go literally anywhere you want to be, right? All things podcast, anything is possible. So we just appreciate y'all tuning into this episode, this shorter video, but everything will go back to schedule as of next week when Bobby returns from his trip. But we just want to appreciate everyone for subbing up. We're at 14 subscribers. Thank y'all. We're just slowly growing. We're going to keep on uploading shorts and try to keep expanding our content so we can reach a larger audience as well as just engage to more people, right? Because me, Gabe, and Bobby included, we all want to make a difference in this world and do something special, right? And one way we can do that is just by spreading positivity and just spreading good vibes and that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. And even though it might sound cheesy, it's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you really do believe it, you can make it happen. And the only thing in your way is your mind, right? So we hope everyone has a great day. We'll have another full-length episode for next week, but we're out of here and we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all. Take care.